We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Thursday, November 28th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and welcome to News Generation. Today, we're joined by Kwon Ji-yeon.
Good morning, Eugene.
Good morning, Ji-yeon. And we're actually joined by a new panelist today. She is Grace Park. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here today. My name is Grace Park, and I am from Invest Korea, the investment promotion arm under the Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency.
Welcome on board, Grace.
Thank you.
Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. So it's Thursday, which means we're going to begin with our keyword news. Today's keyword is snow. South Korea experienced its first snow of the winter season yesterday, and it fell much heavier than expected. According to the Korea Meteorological Administration, Seoul recorded its heaviest snowfall since records began in 1907, with 16.5 centimeters of snow blanketing the city by Wednesday morning. Now, this broke the previous record of 12.4 centimeters set back in 1972. The snowfall has had serious consequences, leaving at least 2 people dead, one from a highway traffic accident and another while clearing snow away, and injuring several pedestrians, some of whom were hurt by falling debris from buildings and construction sites due to strong winds. The storm also caused power outages, disrupted public transport, and grounded more than 200 flights. So I want to ask our panelists, did you experience any of these inconveniences yesterday?
Yes, I actually leave the house for work pretty early in the morning, around 6:30 a.m., and I was really surprised to see the amount of snowfall at that time yesterday.
Right.
Although I've been driving since I was around 16 years old, growing up in the US, I'm pretty new to the roads in Seoul, and I just got my first car in Korea back in July. So as you can imagine, I was incredibly nervous driving in the heavy snowfall, but I did make it in one piece. And other than that, throughout the day, it was actually really beautiful looking out the windows at what seemed like winter wonderland, and I enjoyed a nice warm cup of hot chocolate indoors. By evening, it was again dreadful driving back home since the roads were kind of getting icy with the falling temperatures.
Right, and I think that those who were commuting to work this morning, who were driving or walking to work, they would have faced a lot of difficulties because we saw heavy snowfall overnight. We saw a large amount of snow piling, and the roads were really slippery. So make sure to look out for safety today as well. Now, to you, Ji-yeon, did you also experience something similar?
Yes, I did. Well, yesterday I flew from Jeju-do Island to Seoul. So strong winds in Jeju-do Island delayed my flight. And after landing at Gimpo Airport, I took a taxi to Arirang TV, enjoying the snow-covered autumn leaves that looked like a fairy tale just inside the taxi.
Right.
However, the streets near Arirang Tower in Seocho district were too slippery. So my producer told me, just go home. And the snow piled up even near my place, my house, making it slippery a lot. And my apartment security guard worked hard to clear all of the piled up snow. And the heavy snowfall also disrupted transportation, meaning my child was unable to attend his academy as its school transport had been cancelled, even though I would like to have some rest, but I couldn't because of the transportation disruption. Yes.
Right, so this is definitely causing a lot of disruptions, inconvenience, and also raising safety concerns among many in the country. Now, meanwhile, South Korea is actually bracing for more snowfall today, as you've seen in our previous coverage at New Day in Arirang. So make sure to stay warm and always stay safe. And that was our keyword news for this Thursday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that often generates a lot of buzz among our generation, and that is career trends. Take a look at the screen to find out more. Here's a question for all the millennials and Gen Zs out there who are either working or job hunting. What made you choose your current job? Was it the income, the company's reputation, or the promise of a good work-life balance? And if you're still searching, what's the most important factor for you when deciding on a career? So as we're talking about careers and jobs today, both of our panelists who are joining our show, joining Houston this morning, they are actively part of the workforce. So I want to first ask you, what were the key factors you considered when you chose your career path?
When choosing your job, I think the most important thing is doing something I truly enjoy, you truly love. It's essential for me to feel passionate about my work, as that's what keeps me motivated. As a parent of 2 children, I prefer having the flexibility to plan my own schedule and make decisions about my work commitments. And I also prefer roles that don't demand excessive hours or overwhelming, workload, as balance is key to me. So I value a career that aligns with both my interests and my lifestyle at the same time.
So job aptitude as well as work-life balance. And what about you, Grace?
I totally agree with Chuyeon. Enjoying my work has always been of utmost importance for me because that's what drives me to excel.
Right.
Another key factor is whether I can learn and grow on the job, as I never want to feel like I'm just stagnant, but rather like I'm moving forward. So I enjoy working at my current job because it allows me to explore a variety of roles. Some days I'm at the office just doing like at the desk tasks. Other days I'm at events like Invest Korea Week, which was held a couple weeks ago, where I get to expand my knowledge and my network. And at the same time, of course, I value a good work-life balance because life is just too short to spend it working all the time.
Right. So I guess both of our panelists value job aptitude, that is, whether your job or career aligns with your passion and your skills, and also work-life balance. And we talked about this because there's some fascinating data recently released by Korea's Labor Ministry related to today's topic, what we're talking about. So Jiyoung, can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, of course. Well, recently, the Ministry of Employment and Labour, along with the Korea Employment Information Service, released the results of the 2024 first half employment trend survey for young adults. And these findings shed light on the latest workplace preferences of the MZ generation. So based on the survey of over 4,000 individuals, an overwhelming 87% prioritizes pay and benefits over the size or reputation of a company. And this highlights the generation's focus on tangible rewards. And 63% expressed that maintaining a work-life balance outweighs the significance of financial rewards. This shows a growing emphasis on personal well-being and flexible working conditions for them. And 59% indicated they are open to accepting non-regular employment as long as the pay is sufficiently high. So it means that the young generation is reshaping their workplace values, putting flexibility, work-life harmony, and fair compensation that is, at the forefront, marking a significant shift in modern employment trends.
Right, and I think this is quite different from the previous generation because our parents' generation, they typically prefer a job reputation, a company's reputation, and also high pay. But it seems that our generation is putting more focus on benefits that the company provides and also work-life balance. To find out whether this holds true for more of the younger generation, we're going to invite a Korean Gen Z to our talks after a short break.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang.News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
Joining us this morning is Lee Jung, a Korean Gen Z who previously worked in finance and consulting and will soon start graduate school. Welcome, Jung, to the show and good morning.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you for joining us and nice to meet you as well. Well, Jung, I want to ask you, why did you choose to work in finance and consulting before? And what kind of led you to quit and go to grad school and start a new adventure?
Majoring in psychology, I've always been curious about human behavior and how it affects business strategies. So I chose to begin my career at a consulting firm. As a research assistant, most of my tasks were focused on researching various industries, such as green technology, AI, and platform creation sector, and analyzing the data. I was quite satisfied with my position, but I realized that work-life balance isn't something that happens on a daily basis in this field, which is really important for me when it comes to deciding my job. Also, while working as a researcher, I began to think about myself again, and I realized that I'm quite a creative person and wanted to learn more about technology, AI, and something more dynamic. After this, without any second thought, I decided to quit and go to graduate school of convergent science and technology before it's too late.
Well, first of all, Chang, congratulations on your new journey. So, are you satisfied? Yes. Are you satisfied with the choices you have made regarding your career?
Yes, I am. There's always pros and cons, so now I need to think about my income, but at least I don't have to struggle with managing balance between my work and my life. My semester in graduate school begins next March, so I'm currently studying programming skills and coding by myself, scheduling my own time. As I'm switching my major, sometimes it's difficult, but still it's fun to learn. And the more I learn, the more I want to study. I also looking forward to my life in graduate school because I think it's where I can use my creativity and openness to diversity by integrating various fields of study and technology. I wonder what I can create, learn, and do during my life as a graduate.
Right.
And Chung, I want to ask you, what advice would you give to other young people who are figuring out their career paths?
I think people might have their own criteria when they decide their career path. It might be salary, welfare, or stability. In my case, it was work life balance, my interest, and my happiness. I think now we are living in the world where perception of labor has changed. I hope young people to be brave and follow their own standards. I also have no idea where the wind will take me. I might be keep studying, or I might go back to consulting field, or I might try a completely new job. But I'm sure that at least I will follow what I want to do at the moment because I know that will give me the biggest satisfaction.
Some great advice for all those young job seekers out there. All right, Chung, thank you so much for your time today and wish you the best of luck on your new semester at grad school.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, so listening to Chung, I kind of felt that she also values the similar job priorities that you guys mentioned because work-life balance, your interests, and your happiness. So back to the data you shared earlier, Chuyoung, I want to ask you, what larger trends can we see in the preferences of job choices or job preferences among young people?
I think we have discussed this a lot at News Generation before. Gen Z tends to value work-life balance over a high income, especially since they have seen the limitations of relying entirely on wages, money. They prefer shorter working hours, flexible schedules, and even options like a 4-day work week. And a lot of them also follow the idea of quiet quitting, where they do only what's required at work without going beyond that. So this latest survey shows that these priorities haven't really changed that much. So with tough job markets and huge gap in pay and benefits between large companies and SMEs, many young people would rather stay unemployed than settle for a smaller firm. And even when they do land in a particular job, it's so common to see them resign or switch jobs. We call it job hopping frequently. For this generation, the idea of a job for life just doesn't matter anymore. And things like company size or long-term security are far less important, and also the reputation, as you mentioned. So Gen Z isn't looking for a job for life. They are creating a life with jobs.
Right. So I think the most defining difference between our generation and the previous generation in terms of job preferences, definitely I can say work-life balance. We are a generation that puts heavy emphasis on this. Is this also what you think, Grace?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, and it's a stark difference from what previous generations valued in terms of career. For Gen Z, it seems like it's less about the financial security and safety net that a conventional job can offer, but it's more so about what's worth spending time and energy on.
Right.
Also, we can't ignore the changing times with the rapid rise of artificial intelligence and the concerns that arise regarding whether AI is going to take over our jobs. In the era of AI, the younger generation does not see white-collar jobs as the answer to a stable, long-standing career. In fact, according to a survey conducted by Saramin, a human resources company, 79% of respondents said that they would take on blue-collar jobs jobs, with the reasons being that they would have the potential to earn as much as they work, and that technical skill sets would be difficult for AI technology to replace.
Right, because even though they value work-life balance, they must think about job stability because we don't want our jobs to be replaced by artificial intelligence.
Right.
And this is really interesting because in the past, especially here in Korea, blue-collar jobs were sort of looked down upon, but nowadays the younger generation definitely seems to not think that way. So let's find out what both of our panelists think as part of the younger generation. So please raise the O or X sign based on how you think of each statement. Let's start with the first one. Even with my dream salary, I wouldn't take a job where I'm frequently overworked. What do you think? 1, 2, 3. So both. Let's start with Juyeon.
Well, I think overworking ruins life. You've got to sleep, you know. We have nighttime. That's correct. So working late doesn't mean working efficiency. Working better, the working efficiency will go up. So I think you just need to work in the working hour time.
Right.
Yes.
And if you overwork consistently, I think that kind of makes you burn out, right?
I know, at the same time.
So it definitely lowers the work efficiency. What do you think, Grace?
Yeah, I'm thinking like, even if I was making a lot of money, what's the point if I'm just working all the time, not able to enjoy the money that I'm making? So in that sense, even with my dream salary, I wouldn't take a job where I'm just working all the time. Yeah.
Right. So let's move on to our second statement. Number 2, I stayed at a workplace that doesn't align with my passions or interests if it guarantees work-life balance and great benefits. What do you think? 1, 2, 3. X and in
kind of
between?
split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's first hear from Grace.
Okay, so while I do think that passion is very important in a job, I also think that work-life balance and great benefits, it's something that you can't ignore in a workplace. And so because I also value the two latter, I would say that, I think that a good work-life balance would give me the freedom and the time to be able to explore my other passions after work.
Very well said. What about you, Juyeon?
Well, I said no. Well, I wouldn't stay in that job for a long time if that doesn't suit me. I will just lay back and look at the clock, my watch for the whole entire working hour, and they won't like me. Then that means I will be sacked. I will be fired for a short period of time. So life is too short for doing something wasteful. I mean, wasting your time on something that you don't like, it's wasting your life.
I think this is kind of like a trickier question, the first one, because as we've seen in the survey, young people, they also greatly valued and they looked into the benefits that companies provide to their employees. So I admit this was a hard question. Moving on to our last question. Number 3, I take a physically demanding blue-collar job if it's a high-paying one. 1, 2, 3. X and X. Let's first hear from you, Juyeon.
Well, no matter how much it pays, I think I won't work on a job that I didn't prepare for a long time, and I think I'll spend more money on medical bills. So that will all go onto the medical bills, not on something that I value.
Maybe the medical bills might be larger than what you earn through these blue-collar jobs.
That will be the question for me then.
I see. Then what do you think, Grace?
I totally agree because I actually have experience with that. Overworking, just physically demanding jobs, definitely will deteriorate your health, and I don't think that's a good thing to sacrifice, I guess, for like a good salary.
And you don't think you can stay at that blue-collar job for a long time, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so we've listened to our panelists, so now we're gonna take a look at what our viewers think. We also asked them what they value most when choosing a job, salary, or work-life balance. So let's check out the results. So the survey was conducted between November 22nd to 26th on our Arirang YouTube channel. To the question, what do you put value more on? 62% said work-life balance, while 38% said salary. So we're seeing quite a big difference between the two answers. Let's take a look at some of the opinions. Paulo Becerra, 2020, I worked nonstop before and then completely burned out and became sick. Finding a good balance is the best way to go for me. Dory 1529, both, but mostly the salary. Jelly K, in the early stages of my career, I would prioritize salary to establish financial stability and gain experience, but once I've reached a certain point and feel more secure, I think it makes sense to shift the focus toward a better work-life balance. Right, so we've taken a look at what our viewers think as well. Before we wrap up today's episode and discussion, you guys both have been working in your field and you've been working for over a decade. So any advice for today's job seekers?
Well, I think first of all, you've got to understand what motivates you, what you like a lot, and whether it's stability, creativity, or flexibility. And don't be afraid to prioritize work-life balance. A healthy mind makes for a successful career. You're not going to work for just one day. Think about it long term and build connection and networks, as they often open doors that qualifications alone cannot. You know, you have to say hello to people that you meet at the office, and also stay flexible. Industries change very fast and it's quite important to keep up. And finally, don't give up your thing. Don't give up. The right chance often comes to those who stick with it. And remember, you're not just building a career, you are designing your whole future.
Building and designing, they do have a difference, right?
Indeed, indeed.
So design, not build. Great advice from Julia.
Yeah.
What do you think, Grace?
I believe it's important to know yourself first. Identify what you like, what you're good at, because very often you like what you're good at and vice versa. Now, while you definitely need to enjoy what you do in the greater scheme of things, there will always be aspects to work that you don't enjoy as well.
Right.
That's why it's called work and not play. If you want something, hard work, patience, and perseverance will take you far, but also be conscious of the relationships that you build in the process, because you'd be surprised at the opportunities that come along your way through people. And lastly, be willing to step out of your comfort zone and push your limits, because you truly don't know what you're capable of until you've challenged yourself.
Couldn't agree with you more. So hope our discussion today helps all those job seekers out there find their dream job. And that's all from us today, but NewsGen will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks today to Kwon Ji-hyun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Grace Park.
Thank you. I had a blast.
You had a blast. We had a blast as well. And thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generation.
네가 너무